Looking back to our last lesson, we were working on measures of central tendency. We were looking at mean, median, mode. We then talked about range and briefly introduced the outlier. So once again, what do all these terms mean so that we can easily identify or calculate them? Mean is the average. How do you calculate that? You add up all the data items and divide by the number of items. To find the median, you're going to find the term that falls in the middle when the numbers are ordered from least to greatest. Now, that's if there's an odd number of data values. But if there is an even number, we're going to then add the two and divide by 2. So once again, when you order them from least to greatest, if it's an odd number of data items, it'll be the number right in the middle. However, if it's an even number of data items, you'll just add those two centered numbers and divide by 2, remembering to first order them in ascending order. Mode. The word mode means the number that appears most in the data. We had found out that we could have one mode, more than one mode, or no mode at all. And then went on to range, and range is the difference between the highest and the lowest numbers, so you need to subtract the lowest from the highest. And an outlier is a number that's either much larger or much smaller. Some of you thought it had to be larger, but it could be larger or smaller than all the other data numbers. So this outlier will affect the mean of the group, because when you're adding them all up, if there's one number that's a lot larger or a lot smaller, it's going to affect the average. So let's take these one term at a time, and let's just do this in isolation first. Let's identify modes. Again, modes are numbers that appear the most. We could have more than one mode, but remember, it's a number that appears the most. Can you tell what the mode is in this first set of data? There are 2 2s, 2 9s, but there are 3 7s, so my mode is going to be 7. Look on to your next. This set of data is not in order, and even though it's not necessary, it helps to have them in order to identify whether we have more than one of something. So start by ordering. Once I write them in order, I double check. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 8. I have all 8 terms. Now I can easily go by and see I have 2 2s and 2 8s. So this has 2 modes, 2 and 8. Last one, again not in order, so I may want to rewrite it first so that I can easily see whether anything is repeated. And in this data, there's no mode. Now I've been doing this all with numbers, but I could have a set of anything. Now here I have just a list of colors: red, blue, white, red, blue. So I see I have 2 reds and 2 blues. I have 2 modes. So mode means the most. Let's go on to medians. Now if you recall from the opening slide, I said the median is the number in the middle, so we have to first start ordering from least to greatest. 2, 3, 5, 7, and 9. That's an odd number, so the number in the middle is 5. On to my next, again, not in order, so let's write this in order. I see that I have 2, 4, 6 items, which means that there are 2 center numbers. What do? You add them and then divide by 2, and you'll get 15. That's the method you use when there's an even number of data items. Again, order them from least to greatest. I have 6 items, which means I take these 2 in the center and I will add them, and then I'll divide by 2, and there's my median. Again, going over all of these one at a time just to reinforce them. Range. In the range, we need to take the smallest number and find the difference between that and the largest number. Again, it doesn't hurt to put these in order, simply because then we can easily identify our smallest and largest numbers. And you can do that by just scanning with this as well. So now I'm going to find the difference. I'm going to take 20 and subtract 4, and my range is 16. On to the next one. We have 11, 12. Again, I'm ordering them from least to greatest. 15. Then I have 23 and 24. Did I skip something? I did. I skipped 18. So you always want to double check this as you're going along. So I have 18, then 23 and 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got them all. How do I find the range? I take that greatest number. From that, I subtract the smallest. My range is 13. On to one more, and this time I see decimals, but again, we'll order them from least to greatest. And then we find the difference. 8 6/10 was the greatest number. 4 3/10 was the smallest. We go ahead and subtract, and we'll find that my answer is 4 3/10. So that's how you go about finding your range. Now let's do all of them together with one set of data. I'm going to stop and let you organize this from least to greatest. Then read carefully, because I put them in different order. I asked you to find the mode, the range, the median, and the mean in that order. So this helps to see whether you really know and can distinguish between all of them. Do this and we'll go over the answers in class. And the very last thing we want to talk about today is the outlier. The outlier is a number when you're looking at the set of data that's either much larger or much smaller than all the other data items. As I'm looking at this set of data, I'm seeing I've got numbers in the 50s and 60s, but when I get to this number here, it's much smaller than the rest, so that's 11. Looking at my next set of data, again, I've got numbers in the teens, and then I have 62. Much larger than the rest, so there's an outlier in that set as well. Again, last time we thought that it had to be a number that was much greater than the rest. It's just a number that stands out, that's either much larger or much smaller. And in the last set of data, it looks like there's no outlier. So now that we've had an opportunity to do all of these together, I feel that we should be comfortable to have a quiz sometime this week. I believe I said Thursday. We'll go over the rest in class.